If you wanted to learn music, say, really learn how to play a guitar solo or master piano piece, for a long, long time you had just one option. You had to find a local teacher, drive to their studio, pay them by the hour, and then just hope you remembered everything when you got home.
And that model is, well, it's pretty much history now.
It really is. The internet isn't just a helper tool anymore, it's the whole classroom.
That's really the core of this whole shift. I mean, traditional music lessons had so many barriers cost where you lived, just trying to remember what you were taught.
Right.
Now, you can get high-quality lessons from, world-class musicians right in your living room. So today, we're going to get into how this whole digital world is shaping the next generation of musicians.
Okay, let's jump right in. When people talk about this shift, the first thing that comes up is usually convenience. But it's more than just not having to leave the house, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
The real game changer is the power of perfect repetition. When a teacher shows you a tricky rhythm, you don't have to rely on some note you scribbled down.
You just rewind.
You just rewind that 10-second clip and watch the finger placement again and again until it's literally part of your muscle memory.
And that feeds right into the other big advantages: accessibility and cost. Think about it. Online lessons often cost way less than private in-person tutoring. You're not paying for travel time or studio space.
Which opens it up to a lot more people.
A lot more. But the geographic part is maybe even bigger. It levels the playing field. Someone living in a small town can now get the exact same jazz guitar lesson as a student in New York City.
So it's really about democratization then. Great teaching isn't just for people who live near big cities anymore.
Exactly. And a lot of these online platforms use standardized curriculums. That's really helpful because it gives you a clear roadmap. You can actually see your progress as you move from, basic scales to more advanced stuff.
It makes it feel less like a mystery and more like something you can actually track.
Right. It becomes a measurable skill.
That sounds great. But to get those benefits, you can't just be working on some old shaky laptop, right? If the internet is the classroom, you need the right gear. What's the absolute basic requirement?
It all starts with stability. A reliable computer or tablet is a must, but the most important thing is a fast internet connection. You need to minimize latency.
Latency. Okay, so that's the delay.
Yeah, the lag between when you play a note and when your teacher hears it. If that delay is too long, trying to play together in real time is just impossible. The whole lesson falls apart.
And what about the room you're in? I'm picturing someone trying to learn cello in a messy bedroom.
The environment is huge, especially for getting good feedback. Your instructor has to see you clearly, so lighting is critical. They need to see your hand position, your posture.
Because that's where bad habits form.
Exactly. If they can't see you, they can't correct you.
Okay, so we've got the basics down. But for an instrument, the little microphone built into a laptop just isn't going to work, is it?
Absolutely not. For a live lesson, you really need a good external microphone. It's so important because the teacher needs to hear the true tone of your instrument.
Right, not some distorted, teeny version of it.
A built-in mic will just crush the sound of an acoustic guitar or a piano. It makes it impossible to give you feedback on your sound quality. And for you, the student, headphones are a must.
To block out distractions.
That, and to hear all the little details in the music and in your teacher's instructions without any other noise getting in the way.
Okay, so it's all about making sure the sound is crystal clear for both people. What about just being comfortable for a long practice session?
Yeah, don't forget comfort. If you play something like guitar or keyboard, a chair without arms is usually best so you can move freely. And if you can, try to have one specific spot in your home that's just for practice.
A dedicated music space.
Even a small one. It just signals to your brain, okay, it's time to focus, and your practice will be so much better.
That dedicated space is a perfect lead-in to our next point, which is the huge advantage of learning at your own speed. In a group class, you're stuck with the pace of the group.
Right. Online learning just removes all that pressure. If you're stuck on a really tough chord progression, you can take all the time in the world. You can just stop and drill that one measure 50 times if you need to.
Without feeling like you're holding everyone else back.
Exactly. No embarrassment, no rush.
And the flip side is true too, which might be even more important. If you get a new concept right away, you can just move on. You don't have to wait for everyone else to catch up.
That flexibility is a lifesaver for so many students. It lets them balance music with school, with sports, with everything else. And because you're learning at home, it's a much lower pressure situation. You feel more comfortable making mistakes.
And making mistakes is how you learn.
It's the only way you learn. Progress stops being about some class schedule and starts being about your own personal goals. And that really builds independence.
For sure. Now let's get into where the tech really starts to shine. Beyond just video calls, I'm talking about the interactive tools.
Right. The modern learning platform is more like a whole ecosystem of different apps that work together.
So let's start with the basics. To develop your ear, which you need for things like writing songs, there are these ear training apps.
They're often set up like games.
Yeah, they help you identify different pitches and notes in a way that's actually fun.
And then there are digital tuners, non-negotiable. They make sure your instrument is perfectly in tune every time you pick it up. They measure the vibration frequency of a string, that's what hertz means, to make sure it's dead on accurate.
So you're building the right muscle memory from day one.
Precisely. And of course, the virtual metronome. Every musician has to develop that steady internal clock. And a metronome is the tool for that. It keeps your rhythm and tempo solid.
Okay, but this is where it gets really interesting, right? It's moving beyond just the standard tools. I've heard a lot about artificial intelligence, AI being used.
Yes, this is a huge leap. Some platforms now use AI that can actually listen to you play in real time and give you instant feedback. It'll tell you if you hit the wrong note or if your timing was off.
Wow. So it's like having a little assistant teacher there with you all the time.
An impartial one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just you watching a video. The software is actively listening and correcting.
That's incredible.
And for students who want to write their own music, composition software is way more accessible now. You can write out your ideas and hear a full virtual orchestra play them back instantly. It speeds up the whole process.
And what about music theory? That can be super intimidating for beginners. All those symbols and rules. You mentioned rhythmic subdivisions.
Rhythmic subdivisions, yeah, that's just a fancy way of saying you're splitting a single beat into smaller pieces. Instead of 2 notes, maybe you play 3 or 4.
Okay.
Online tools use animations to show you exactly how that works. They can also highlight scales and chords right on a virtual keyboard or a guitar neck, which turns these abstract ideas into something you can see and hear immediately. That foundation is everything if you want to improvise or compose.
But even with all this new tech, the video tutorial is still kind of the heart of it all. A good one is so well produced, you can pause, you can zoom in on someone's fingers on the fretboard.
Oh, the production value is key. The best ones use multiple camera angles so you can see the left hand and the right hand at the same time. Plus, they'll have the sheet music or tabs right there on the screen.
So you're getting audio, video, and the written music all at once.
It's a complete package.
That makes a ton of sense for learning technique. But music is also supposed to be social. How does the digital world handle things like community or even recitals?
The global community is one of the biggest strengths. Most of these platforms have discussion forums where you can ask questions and share your progress with people from all over the world. It creates an instant network.
And performing. The nerves are a real thing. How do virtual recitals actually help with that?
They're a great way to build confidence. You can record your performance until you're happy with it and then share it. Or you can do a live-streamed event. It helps you manage those pre-performance jitters in a low-stakes environment at home.
Right, you're not in front of a live audience.
Not at first. Plus, you can easily use backing tracks or digital effects, which is great practice for how modern music is actually produced.
That is valuable. Okay, so how do you even begin to find the right teacher in this huge online world? It seems overwhelming.
You have to do your homework. You need to read the teacher profiles very carefully, look at their musical background, what they specialize in. Don't just look for a guitar teacher, look for one who specializes in the style you want to learn.
And what should you look for in the reviews?
Look for comments about their personality, patience, clarity, things like that. A good online teacher will always offer a trial lesson, and they'll test your audio and video setup beforehand.
To make sure it's a good fit.
Finding a mentor who really gets your learning style is critical for sticking with it long term.
Okay, that's really practical advice. Now let's talk about the downsides. We mentioned latency, but what happens when the tech just fails?
Technical problems are going to happen. Lag from a slow wireless connection is still the #1 issue. It makes playing together impossible. That's why we always recommend using a wired Ethernet connection if you can. It's just so much more stable.
What about bad audio quality? I've heard people complain about that, even with a good mic.
That is usually a software setting. A lot of video chat apps have a feature that tries to suppress background noise.
Which sounds like a good thing.
It is for a business meeting, but for music, it's terrible. It hears a sustained note from a piano or a guitar as background noise and tries to cut it out, which makes your instrument sound all wobbly and distorted. You have to
Yeah.
go into the settings and turn that feature off.
Yeah, okay. That's a great tip. The other big challenge has to be motivation. With no teacher physically there, it's all on you. How do you stay on track?
Managing your own motivation is probably the biggest hurdle. You have to be structured. First, set small, achievable goals every week. Don't just say, I'm going to learn guitar. Say, by Friday, I'm going to play this one riff cleanly at 80 beats per minute.
Bring it down into tiny pieces.
Exactly. And you have to create a practice schedule and stick to it like it's homework. And finally, keep your practice sessions interesting. Mix up the boring technical exercises with fun songs you actually want to play. Consistent effort is what matters.
So looking forward then, where is all this technology heading in the next, say, 5 or 10 years?
We're moving toward really immersive experiences. I think we'll see a lot more virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR. Imagine putting on a headset and seeing the sheet music floating in front of you.
Or sitting in a virtual concert hall next to your teacher, even if they're on another continent.
Exactly that. And as internet speeds get even faster, you'll see musicians in different cities playing together in real time with zero lags.
And the AI will get smarter than just checking for wrong notes.
Oh, for sure. The role of AI will become hyper-personalized. It will analyze all your practice data, where you struggle, where you're strong, and it will create custom lesson plans just for you in real time to target your specific weaknesses.
So, to sum it all up, modern tech hasn't changed the core of music. Rhythm, tone, theory are all the same, but it has completely changed how we learn and share it, making it more accessible than ever.
That's the main takeaway. But it is important to remember one thing. While these digital tools are amazing, a traditional in-person lesson still allows a teacher to, physically adjust your hand position or fix your posture on the spot.
Right. That physical correction is a key difference.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's something every musician needs to think about when they're choosing how they want to learn.
Keep that in mind as you get ready for your next session. Good luck with your studies.